The skin is our largest organ that protects everything on the inside from the outside world. But what happens when an overly sensitive immune system contributes to itchy rashes on your skin? Atopic dermatitis, a form of eczema, happens. While this skin disease is common in children, it can also show up in adults later in life. October is Eczema Awareness Month. So today, we're breaking it all down. Everyone, please welcome Heather, who currently lives with atopic dermatitis, and dermatologist Dr. Tina Butani to the show. Welcome. Hi, guys. Hi. Dr. Butani, we're so honored to have you here. Let's start with you. Can you tell us exactly what atopic dermatitis is and what causes it?
Sure. So currently in the U.S., there's about 1.6 million adults living with a chronic form of eczema known as uncontrolled moderate to severe atopic dermatitis. It presents as this really itchy and uncomfortable rash on the skin, and we think that there are two major causes. One is a defective skin barrier that allows the skin to become very dry, and two is a highly sensitive immune system that's reacting to even the smallest irritants and allergens in the environment. Now, many people think of atopic dermatitis as just a disease of the skin, but the reality is that the rash is just the visible part of a deeper inflammatory process going on inside the body. So definitely more than a skin problem.
Wow.
Okay, thank you for breaking that down. Now, Heather, you've lived with the disease since you were 27. What are some of the common misconceptions when it comes to atopic dermatitis?
I think one of the biggest misconceptions is that it's not a serious disease. It's chronic and there is no cure. A lot of people think that it is related to sometimes poor hygiene or that it's contagious, neither of which is true. It's a inflammation disease due in part to a hypersensitivity of my skin. And while I may not have a rash currently, it is something that's always there and could pop up at any time.
Okay,
Heather, can you describe what atopic dermatitis feels like?
I would say the best way to describe it is this tingling sensation that I need to scratch, or this feeling of needing to wash it away.
When did you first start feeling it?
I developed it and I had these tiny little pimple-like sores on my hands that then traveled to my elbows, my back of my knees.
Oh, wow.
And whenever I get overly hot or I start to sweat, I know that the rash is not far behind.
Got it.
Wow.
Got it.
Right.
Dr. Butani, can you talk about the impact of atopic dermatitis on patients and why it could be difficult to manage?
Absolutely. So as Heather just described, the itch of atopic dermatitis can be debilitating for so many patients. And what makes it worse is that the more you scratch, the more you're disrupting the skin barrier and the more inflammation is created. So it really just becomes this vicious cycle that goes on and on until you stop it with the right treatment.
Wow. Well, obviously, the next question is, for all of those that are suffering out there, that are going through what you're saying, what kind of treatment options are available to help people living with atopic dermatitis?
Well, the good news is we have many treatments for atopic dermatitis. It's important, thank goodness. It's important to talk with your healthcare provider and to work with them to come up with a management plan that works for you. Some things they might suggest are over-the-counter skincare products, light therapy, or various prescription medications.
Where can people go for more information about eczema and atopic dermatitis?
Yeah, so patients can definitely talk to their doctor, as I just said, and you can also look for online resources such as Eczema Exposed.
Got it.
Okay,
All right.
so helpful. So much information. Heather, what do you want to say to people at home who may have this condition? What should they know?
I guess I want them to know that they're not, it's not an isolated disease. There's many of us out there suffering day in and day out with this disease. That there's a lot of great healthcare providers and dermatologists there to help you and to take your hand into their hands and say, we will work together to make you feel more like yourself.
Oh, that's great.
Heather, Dr. Butani, thank you guys so much for bringing awareness to atopic dermatitis during Eczema Awareness Month. For more information and resources on atopic dermatitis, I'm so happy I can pronounce that, head to thereal.com.